My name is Vang. I'm Phia, eldest son. First, I want to extend my gratitude for all those who contributed to my father's final farewell, from the family, Fresno Police Department, and community. Today, we gather here to say our final goodbyes as we remember the amazing person my father was to his family, friends, and community. My father's determination and perseverance is what helped him reach his dreams and goals. It is what made him the genuine and loving person you all know for who he is today. He would tell me of the old days where he had to wake up early in the morning as a child to throw a newspaper from door to door before sunrise, in the dark, with only a cheap bicycle and knowing he would have to attend school in a couple of hours. He then told me how he got into the academy and was officially sworn into the Fresno Police Department. He couldn't wait to buy his first car, as well couldn't wait to take his first step and make a difference in the community and those around him. Until to this day, he has always encouraged hard work and determination to inspire and aspire a generation to those around you. With my father's hard work, compassion, and determination carving a path, I now ask myself, how can I make a difference to those around me? What can we do as a community to impact those in need of love and help? His love and compassion was contagious around to those who were blessed to meet him. There's no other love compared to a husband's love for a wife and a father's love towards his children. It is the most unique emotional affection to all of mankind. My father taught me how to be a true gentleman and unconditionally love a woman from rain to sunshine, day to night, from sick days to days of joy. Recently, I learned my father kept a secret from my mother. The secret was that he kept a wallet-sized photo in a clear cover case of my mother with a signed date of when they met. I know of this because when we found this, my mother was just as shocked as I was when we found this picture. Who would have thought a tough exterior man who worked as a police officer, who feared nothing and never expressed worries or concern, had a heart of a young man who still misses the love of his life every second of the day. It broke me down internally that my own father, after 23 years, he still has the burning passion for my mother and wanted to be with her every second of the day. Perhaps that's why he always refused to eat lunch at a restaurant during his lunch breaks with his coworkers and always managed to come home and grab a home-cooked meal. It was because he missed my mother every second of the day and wanted to see her smile eyes every chance he can. Whether it rained, hailed, or it was sunny hot, he always came home with a smile on his face, knowing he got to see her in the living room waiting for him. His love for my mother goes beyond any ocean depths and endless skies. A father's love for his children goes beyond any horizon. Tiger Shroff once said, "Every son's first superhero is his father," and it was the same for me. For me, he was Superman and Batman combined. My dad was both Superman and Batman, the two best superheroes in my book. Superman, because he was the people's hero and was willing to put everyone before him and had a heart for the people he loved. And he was also Batman, because he was smart and wanted to do everything fair with justice in his own style. Growing up with my father, I have never seen him cry, but probably 3 times in my life. The first time when he lost his father, my grandpa. When he lost his mother, my grandma. And when I was in the hospital in the middle of a spring semester in my second year of college. The tears of my father did not show his weakness, but rather how much strength he had during the most pivotal moments in his life. He represented strength and resiliency in which he taught me to endure during the most pivotal times in life, such as now. A friend of my father told me, your father's life resembles the movie Big Fish. At first, I did not understand what he meant until I watched the film. For 2 hours and 5 minutes, I thought of my father throughout the film and how similar he was to the main character, Edward Bloom. The self-sacrifice, love, patience, determination, courage, risk, and compassion the character had for his loved ones portrayed how one should be towards others and how to live a life. As the movie concludes, Edward Bloom is carried into a river by his son, where he is greeted by his loved ones, and is placed into a river. It becomes a big fish, finally free. My father, the big fish, has finally found the river and is ready to swim. Dad, if you're out there somewhere, out in the crowd sitting, I just want you to hear this. I just want you to hear this. Dad, I'm going to miss you. I'm going to miss your smile, your eyes, your scent, your laughter, your jokes that were brightening up my darkest days, even though it never made sense. And I'll especially miss your lectures that has continued to guide me throughout life. Till this day, I remember the first things we did together as father and son. My first dog you got me that I named Roy, and the fulfillment I had in my heart of being a responsible owner. My first car that I used, which was yours, the red 1994 Toyota Camry. You were the first to watch me walk and receive my high school diploma, and my first teacher in life. As I continue my walk in life, I know the road will get tough, knowing when I graduate, I will cry. When I get married, I will cry. When I get my dream house, I will cry. And when I have my first child, I will cry. Because you won't be next to me. However, I promise you, I'll make you proud and take care of Mom for you, because that's one person you cherish the most, and you'll always be in my heart. Who knew that on February 4th, it would be the last Super Bowl game I will get to watch with you? Therefore, I want to express my feelings to the kids in this generation. Love your parents. Enjoy every moment with them. Smile with them. Laugh with them. And hug them every chance you get. To Dad, I'll meet you again, and you can share all your stories with me on how much you love Mom and how much you love raising your animals. I love you, Dad. I know you're up there holding hands with Grandma and Grandpa, smiling and watching over us. I've been blessed with the greatest father of all. I'm going to end with this quote from Big Fish by Daniel Wallace. We all have stories just as you do, ways in which he touched us, helped us, gave us money, sold it to us wholesale. Lots of stories, big and small. They all add up. Over a lifetime, it all adds up. That's why we're here. We're a part of him. Who he is, just as he's a part of us. You still don't understand, don't you? I didn't. As I stared at the man and he stared back at me, in my father's dream, I remember where he met before. And what did my father do for you? I asked him. And the old man smiled and made me laugh. He said, "Thank you."
Yes, that's good. Well, thank you, everyone, for being here today. As I stand up here and look across this room and see the sea of officers that are here supporting Phia Vang and his family, it touches my heart as a police chief. And to see all of the elected officials, thank you, each and every one of you, for taking time out of your busy schedules to be here. And then also to the family, the show of support from the entire community, especially the Hmong community, is extremely touching to me. You know, we've received letters and cards from all over California, from law enforcement officials, from the State Sheriff's Association, from a lot of individuals offering their support to your family. And it is incredible, a show of support, because the loss of Phia Vang has touched so many. And it's an honor to have been asked to speak today by the family as we celebrate the life of a hero, Phia Vang. And I'd like to first begin by offering my condolences to the family, to Curly, Phia's wife, to Corey, the eldest, and then also I want to make sure that I give a special thought and pray to Brittany, the daughter, and to Joshua, and to Ethan. All of you are very, very special. And Corey, as I told you that night when in your living room, when you lost your father, it is important that you be the strong person in the family. And your eulogy today of your father is something that I will never forget. Thank you for being that strong person in the family. And I want to thank the family also for sharing your husband, your dad, your loved one with this community and our department. As we all know, police work can be extremely dangerous, highly unpredictable, and very, very demanding. Not only demanding on the police officer who wears that uniform, but also demanding upon the family. I've said many times during my career that although it is the officer that wears the badge, it is the family that carries the weight of that badge. They are the ones that carry the worry. They are the ones that carry the grief. They are the ones that are home alone on holidays and weekends and nights while their loved one is out protecting our community. And so on behalf of the Fresno Police Department, on behalf of the entire Fresno community, thank you for sharing your loved one and for carrying the weight of that badge. Officer Phia Vang was not only a great Fresno police officer, he was a trailblazer. He was one of the first Hmong Fresno police officers. As a result, Phia had to overcome a lot of obstacles, not only within the department, but also within his own community. You saw the video that was played and the fact that he had to overcome and learn the English language, which he did very, very well. But he overcame each and every hurdle because, as he said, he set his mind to it. Phia wore the uniform proudly. He was proud to serve as a Fresno police officer and knew what the uniform stood for: honor, respect, and authority. Officer Phia Vang graduated from the Fresno City College Police Academy in December of 1991. 1 year later, he became a reserve police officer for the Fresno Police Department. And on September 27, 1993, he was sworn in as the third Hmong police officer in the Fresno Police Department. During his 26-year career, Phia worked as a patrol officer in the Southeast and Northwest and Southwest policing districts. Phia also worked as a neighborhood police officer in the Northwest Policing District, where Phia truly excelled in what we know today as community policing. In June of 1999, Phia was assigned to the highly sought-after Magic Unit due to his passion for eradicating gangs from our neighborhoods, and also as a result of the desire that he had in his heart to keep Southeast Asian youth out of gangs. Phia also served in the Fresno Area Express Unit, known as the FACS Unit, where he spent the last year of his career. Along his 26-year career, Phia received a significant number of commendations for identifying suspects, arresting suspects that were involved in serious crimes, and for his diligence in processing crime scenes for evidence that ultimately led to the arrest of an individual. In February of 2008, Phia received a commendation from the Chief of Police of the Santa Ana Police Department for the arrest of an attempted murder and robbery suspect who had fled to the area of Fresno. The suspect, in this case, had stabbed the victim numerous times. Thanks to Phia, that suspect was tracked down, arrested, and brought to justice. In June of 2009, Phia received another commendation for conducting a narcotics investigation that resulted in the seizure of 6 pounds of raw heroin valued at over $60,000. There's no question. Phia Vang, your father, was a great police officer. Phia was extremely dedicated and well-liked by fellow department members. His fact supervisor wrote in his last evaluation that Phia was respected by his peers and supervisors, and that regardless of the task at hand, Phia was able to complete it with minimal supervision. His supervisor also wrote that Phia had an outstanding relationship with members of the facts unit and that he was easygoing and very approachable, traits that are much needed in today's police officer. Phia was also known to have a very, very calm demeanor, which allowed him to diffuse almost any situation, hostile situation that he came in contact with. Along with his ability to speak Hmong and his reputation within the Hmong community, Phia was able to build trust between the Hmong community and the Fresno Police Department, and we see that level of trust today continue to grow. One of Phia's former supervisors wrote in an evaluation that Phia was considered to be a role model for police trainees, recruits, and other officers. Phia possessed a great deal of experience and knowledge. He was street smart, a team player, and took great pride in handling police calls for service. You know, one of the things that I learned about Phia was that he had a heart for families within our community. One of his supervisors shared a story about a family who went to Phia regarding their daughter who was out of control and refusing to obey them. Phia worked with the family, contacted them at home regularly, and spoke to their daughter on numerous occasions. As a result of Phia's involvement with their daughter, the parents informed Phia that her behavior had improved immensely, and they no longer experience any behavioral problems. That is going above and beyond the call of duty. That is a true servant, and that is what is referred to in the Bible as God's minister of justice. You know, Matthew chapter 5, verses 14 through 16 says, "You are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden. Nor do they light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a lampstand, and it gives light to all who are in the house. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven." As I stand here today, I know without a doubt that Phia Vang allowed his light to shine within this community. And I am confident that he glorified his Father in heaven. And so as we gather today as family and as friends, it is important that we choose to remember Officer Phia Vang, not for how he died, but for how he lived. Phia Vang will be missed by his family. He will be missed by his friends. He will be missed by his co-workers. And he will be missed dearly by the Hmong community. But he must never be forgotten. Phia Vang, thank you. Thank you for your dedication. Thank you for your service. You have served your family well, and you have served this community well. Scripture tells us, "In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go to prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you to myself, that where I am, there you may be also." I am confident today as I stand here that Phia Vang is in the presence of Almighty Savior Jesus Christ. And may you rest in peace, Phia, and may your family be comforted. God bless you.
Good morning. I want to thank my good friend, Pal Yang, and Hmong community leaders for inviting me to be part of this ceremony this morning. The Hmong community has always been very kind and supportive to me, and I'm here today to return the gesture. Last month, I attended a funeral with my wife for one of her friends that I didn't know. I'd never met her. But after talking to several people at the event and listening to stories about her life, I knew this person. She was loved by many, and she had a life well lived. I've only met Officer Phia Vang a few times. I really didn't know what kind of person he was. So I asked the question, did Phia Vang have a life well lived? And what impact did he have on those who knew him? And let me start from the beginning. Like many Southeast Asians in Fresno, Phia Vang fled the communist regime in Laos with his family when he was a young child after spending a year in a refugee camp in Thailand. They finally found freedom when they completed their journey to America. The family relocated to Fresno in 1982, where he grew up, graduated from McLean High School, and eventually, Phia made the decision to serve his community as a police officer. He completed training in 1991 and was sworn in shortly thereafter. Through his 26 years on the Fresno Police Force, Phia served on the Gang Task Force, the Northwest Neighborhood District Patrol, and of course, most recently, the Fresno Area Express Unit. His fellow officers knew Phia as a humble servant with a great sense of humor. He was selfless, a great role model, and a stellar representative of his badge and his city. From everyone who I talked to and what I've read, he was an exceptional police officer, but an even better husband, father, and friend. It's a tragedy that his life was cut short in a senseless accident, but we can honor his memory by looking past our loss, the pain of our loss, and celebrate the legacy of his life. And let me conclude that Phia Vang had a life well lived and will not be forgotten. He will be remembered by his children and his grandchildren, and future generations will tell stories of his life and the many people who loved him. To his wife and children, his family and friends, I'm so sorry for your loss. Please accept my sincerest condolences on behalf of the city of Fresno. Thank you.
Good morning. To Phia Vang's wife, his children, the family, and the extended family of our community throughout the city of Fresno and the Fresno Police Department, we are here today to mourn the loss of a person who made a difference. It is difficult always, and words never really seem adequate when tragically a life is lost, a life that was well lived, a life that did so much to contribute not only to his family, to his friends, but to our larger community. You know, we begin, all of us, with that first step, that journey in life that then determines ultimately what our lives are. And I think about the story of Phia Vang and his family. And I think about the story of the American immigrant. For let us never forget that we are a nation of immigrants, past and present. And for over 200 years, immigrants have come to this country to want to have a better life. And after the war in Vietnam that created so many difficulties and challenges for so many in our country, those Hmong and Lao families seeking a better opportunity, escaping horrific conditions, were given an opportunity to come to this country. Phia Vang and his family literally escaped conditions in which sadly they lost his sister in trying to get to this country. And like a lot of immigrants, Hmong immigrants settled here in California. And it was hard. It was hard. But he reflected that can-do spirit and understood that this was an opportunity for he and his family to take a different path in their journey. And because of that, he became a police officer and did so much more, not just to make a difference for his family, but for our family, our larger community, like each and every one of those officers who wear the badge, who reflect the blue, who are today, like each and every one of us, to say thank you. To say thank you to his family and to his friends for making a difference. 26 years of giving back, to becoming a role model, to reminding us that as a nation, when we come together, we are far, far stronger than whatever differences we may have. And understand that public safety for every community is one of the most important qualities of life we have. So he dedicated his life to public safety and made a difference in all of the police activity efforts that he was a part of. He understood the notion of community-based policing, for he was a part of the community. And he was a role model for young people to look up to and say, yes, I can do this too. So it's so hard for the Vang family to be here the last 3 days to know that role model, that father, that husband, that uncle, that member of our community is no longer here. His quiet, respectful way and his wonderful sense of humor put smiles on everyone's face who knew him. And he did a difficult job, like each and every one of those who serve our community do this difficult job. So I am honored to be here. And I hope that we remember that Phia Vang made a difference. Made a difference for his family, made a difference as a role model, and made a difference in making our community safer. What a great way to dedicate one's life to. So, Mrs. Vang, I will present you with this Congressional Memorial Resolution. I ask my colleagues to join me in honoring the life of Officer Phia Vang, who leaves behind a remarkable legacy of public service and devotion, which has helped make his community of Fresno a safer and better place. He will be missed dearly by those who had the pleasure of knowing him and working alongside with him. And he will certainly be remembered for his bravery, for his selflessness, and for the compassionate hero who served our community well. God bless you, Phia, and your family. We can never ever say thank you enough for your sacrifice.